In this video, we're going to cover BR1. So BR1 is a brand new Solana-based shooter. I'm super excited about this project, and that's why I got this video done with just my computer camera, and it's not professional, it's not well edited. I apologize for that, but I wanted to get this video out ASAP. So what is BR1? It's the world's first risk-based shooter built on the Solana blockchain. What that means is you pay $1 to spawn, and you earn the greater of 10% or $1 for every player killed. So what this game is, it's a third-person shooter. You spawn at the edge of a map, and you have weaker weapons to start with. And the goal is you want to start going towards the center where you get better weapons and more powerful weaponry. Now, as you go towards the center, you can't go back to the edge because obviously they want to prevent spawn killing, right? So everybody gets pushed towards the center where all the action is. And that also means new players, when they spawn on the edge, they're not essentially getting spawn killed, or they're not fighting people who are much more powerful. And that kind of keeps the game balanced. Now, the cool thing about this game is this project, they just started less than a week ago, so they've been pushing this hard. They already have tons of gameplay footage. They're doing demos, and they're essentially executing, right? Which is what I love to see. I love to see projects that execute versus projects that just talk about, hey, we have this crazy white paper and we have all these VCs. And in reality, what that does is it sets you up for a dump when these VCs essentially 50x on the public IDO. While a project like this, they're fundraising with an NFT, and the NFTs are a limited supply. So they have 10,000 NFTs you need to be able to play this game. And with the Genesis NFTs, you will get some special benefits, right? You will obviously get the aesthetic and features that are exclusive and many secret incentives. So the way the game's revenue stream works, from what I understand, is essentially they're going to take a cut of the earnings. And from my perspective, this is going to work really well because it's super simple. You use Solana to spawn. You don't have to go to a decentralized exchange and buy their in-game token. So they have a super simple revenue stream. I can see that this game just blowing up, and if they have tens of thousands of people playing daily, playing 45 games a day, you can clearly see how they can just make a really solid revenue stream. Now, I imagine the NFT holders for the Genesis characters, they obviously will be able to play the games first, but over time there will be special benefits because otherwise, there would be no point in keeping these NFTs. If all it is to just play the game once, then they would just dump. But I am pretty sure with most of these projects, they actually are starting to over-deliver and do token airdrops or some sort of basically in-game advantages, etc., etc. Now with these guys, I don't think they'll have a token because they're just using the Solana token, but maybe they'll have some sort of governance token. Now based on what I'm reading here, since there's 10,000 NFTs and they're scarce, you need to play them to start with, and they have the secret incentives, which I imagine will essentially be either in-game advantages or some sort of revenue share or some sort of DAO, etc. They will figure out ways to make the NFTs valuable. I think just by the fact that people want to play this game, the NFTs will do well post-mint, and as they release, take the game to mass market and have more options for people to play this game, I do believe that they'll figure out new ways to add utilities to the NFTs. Now, obviously, the team is still, I haven't been able to find fully doxed info on them, but they did just start working on this project publicly. So I think usually with a lot of these projects, they want to see what kind of reception they get before they fully dox themselves. But I am pretty bullish on this. Now, why am I so bullish on this project? Well, number one, as you can see, they have tons of gameplay footage, right? But number two, this project really understands psychology, right? Because you have a very simple premise. You're combining third-person shooters, which people love playing, especially online third-person shooters where they can fight their friends, and you're combining that with kind of a poker-style risk-based game where you have to play, and basically you could either lose money, right, because you have to pay $1 to play, but then you could also win money. And then the barrier to entry is so low because it's just $1. This isn't some game where you need to, obviously you need to hold the NFT, right? Which I think selling out 10,000 will be easy. But I think as they go towards mass adoption, they'll make it where you don't really need NFTs to play it. And then essentially with $1, I can see a really big path to mass adoption, right? Like right now, imagine what they're doing is the NFT holders are gonna obviously be beta testers, and that's gonna kind of help them, really figure this game out, and then they'll probably go mass market and be able to just get people in, where it's just like, hey, all you have to do is have $1 in Solana. There's plenty of Solana users, and then this can kind of just blow up. Now, obviously, you have that combination of combining shooter video games with also the fact that you can win and lose money. And quite frankly, if you studied human psychology, that sense of risk and reward, kind of like in poker or any form of gambling even, that's the reason why people go to casinos, right? They love the feeling of risk versus reward, and that kind of the fact that you don't know whether you're going to win or lose, but you do have some control of it, right? You don't have complete control, but the fact is you have some control of it, and it's skill-based. That just makes it into that sweet spot of addictiveness, where it's not like you feel like, oh, it's completely random, but you feel you have some control. So I do see this game just generally blowing up and doing extremely well. They have a really strong concept behind it. And this is also a game that's on Solana, and I do think Solana gaming NFTs are extremely undervalued right now. If you look at Ethereum, games like Nifty, Leak, Degens, I think I just saw today the floor was like 0.99 ETH, right? While on Solana, most of these gaming NFT projects, if you go on Magic Eden, BitBrawl right now is 0.33 Sol, PanzerDog's around 2 Sol for PanzerDog. These projects are super undervalued because the fact is they give a lot of benefits to the holders. So, for example, airdrops, token supply, even IDO allocation. And so they're a way to get in on the ground floor of these projects and really support them early. And there's a limited supply, so it's not like these typical gaming IDOs where after they have their IDOs and the investors have made their 50x, the token price dumps. With the NFTs, the token price or the NFT price is just going to keep going up as there's utility, there's the fact that they're scarce, there's the fact that they have in-game usage. So in my opinion, Solana gaming NFTs are going to explode after the first successful IDO. If you take a project like PanzerDogs and they have their token release and they do an IDO, and then they're pretty much planning to release such a big supply to their actual holders, you're going to see the price of those PanzerDogs improve. And I do think that any Solana gaming project that has good potential in terms of just looking really, really like they have a game that's an actual game, they have a demo, I'm just aping in, right? Like I'm just going in. I don't trust games that have no gameplay footage. That's why I didn't buy Monkey Ball, because Monkey Ball is just so overhyped with so many different VCs already in there that will make massive gains. The fact that they don't have any gameplay footage out, I don't know if they've released any recently, but they didn't have any out. And the fact that the floor price pumped to 7 or 8 Sol. So that's overhyped. I think those are going to not do well, those gaming projects with zero gameplay, etc. While these games out there, right? So BR1, PanzerDogs, BitBrawl, these are all games that, in my opinion, are undervalued at their current Sol floor price. So that's my Solana gaming bull thesis, right? Get into these NFTs pre-IDO, pre-tons of VCs coming in, pre-hype. And I think, long term, if you're getting it at even 1 Sol or 2 Sol, there is the possibility that a lot of these projects will 10x, 20x, 30x. And that's not that crazy, right? Like, you look at some of these Ethereum gaming projects that are at 1 ETH, 2 ETH floors, right? So it's definitely going to happen, as Solana is going to be, in my opinion, one of the bigger gaming blockchains. So yeah, guys, that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I do apologize for the fact that the quality isn't as good as my professional style videos, and I do admit I ranted a bit. But if you guys like this sort of content, just comment below. Let me know what other projects you want me to cover. I'm open to cover utility-based projects on Solana or utility-based projects on other chains. And I'm also really looking to learn about all kinds of gaming projects, whether it's on Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, any really chain, right? My goal is to find those underhyped gems, get in on their NFTs, and then ride that up as they do well, and so on. So guys, thanks once again. I appreciate the support.